welcome to a very Melbourne podcast in a very Melbourne location.
It is a very Melbourne location, Russell.
With a very Melbourne person, David Neitz.
Good to be here, Russell. Yeah, thanks for having me. Hi, everyone out there.
Yes, hello, everyone out in Facebook land. Hope you
Yes.
can hear us because I've set this up today and there's every chance.
Yeah, mate, I've seen your technical skills and I'm a bit concerned. This could drop out at any moment. Don't worry about
I've
that.
only been here since 10 o'clock this morning trying to set it all up.
And then at the last minute, it nearly came apart. Really, let's be honest.
I am hoping this is working out there. People are going to let me know, I'm sure. Davo, we are here at a...
Davo? That's a...
Davo. The Davo, you're the Davo today.
But I don't think you've ever called me Davo in my life, and now I've copped a Davo.
Because the other guy that I usually do this with is Davo.
Yeah, I'm copping the Davo. Okay.
David Neitz, Nieta, my great mate, one of my closest allies on the footy field for a long time, protected me. You protected me out there. We're here at your wonderful new establishment. Can you please tell me about it, Dave?
Yeah, we are. We're here at Brewmanity, and you can see the views behind, which is fantastic. But no, as you know, Robbo, we've been building a brewery. We've had Brewmanity, our beer brand, out there for a little while now. And yeah, we've been building a brewery. It's taken a hell of a lot longer. It's cost more money, taken more time than we thought it was going to do, but it's a brilliant venue. We're here in South Melbourne, so 50 Tope Street in South Melbourne, if anyone wants to pop along.
Plug it.
But yeah, we've got a couple of rooftops, amazing views of the city skyline. We're brewing 14 different beers underneath where we're sitting right now. Tank to tap experience with the beer. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a vibe and going well so far.
Well, here it is. I'm tasting the product as we speak. This is a mid-strength beer.
Bang On.
It's called Bang On, which is, Davo's going to love that because he's got an app about footy tipping called Bang On, but there you go. Bang On is really, really nice. I'm loving this drop. And it's brewed, like you said, just underneath us. I'm very proud of you, David, because this has been a big build. And lucky you took most of the salary cap back in the day, so you could pay for all of this. We all suffered, but...
No. That was Whitey. Go and have a chat to Whitey about that.
Jeff White. Hey, I'm going to go to the chat room real quick because these are the guys that always tune in. Pam, hello to you. Ruth. Nitro Bread says, Neitz. Great to see you on here. And Yvonne, of course, she says hi. And Barry.
Hi, everyone.
Barry's always here. A guy I don't need to introduce too much to is Nieta because... You've been a mainstay for a long time with our club, and we're playing tonight, mate. We're against the Power. We just watched a great game here on the TV behind us, and all around we've got the TVs. We've got the Demon Army down here. They're going to watch the game live in your pub.
Yes.
The world is just spinning in the right direction at the moment, isn't it?
It's all spinning around. It's going to be very interesting to see when the... it's been a pretty relaxed vibe on the deck out here so far, and then I just can't wait to see everyone's reaction when the Demon Army get into full force and this whole place, the roof will sort of raise a little bit, I think, once the game starts, and everyone, I don't think anyone will know what's hit them.
There's the noisometer. We're not allowed to go over it, so if we start kicking lots of goals over there in Adelaide, who knows what's going to happen. This is really nice though, Nieta, this rooftop deck here, and you've got another one above as well for private functions if you want them.
Yeah.
How good is it? Look at that backdrop.
It's a lovely backdrop, yeah. So the outdoor area is just fantastic. There's still a few things we need to fix, mate. We need to get all that heating in. We've got awnings that's for weather protection in winter, so they've got to go in. And we've got a fireplace again for getting ready for winter that we're going to put in, so it'll be really cozy out here.
And I'm going to play some music out here.
You are going to play some music,
and we'll do some more podcasts as well. I really want the crew that miss out a bit, even if you watch this show, come and watch it live.
Well, you know, the front bar started. That's where they started in the pub.
Who knows?
Robbo, this could be big.
This could be into the stratosphere.
You might just need to get some other guests than me.
No. I think the Melbourne supporters would be very happy to have you every single time. But you're not alone in this venture as well. As another guy who used to play for Melbourne.
Paul Hopgood. He's involved. So Hoppy. We always know that he's been fantastic, actually. I was going to get stuck into him because if the beer doesn't sell, we'll just give it to Hoppy and he'll finish it off, so that's fine. But no, look, Hoppy's been fantastic. He's had a really successful career in business and created and sold and businesses along his journey. So he's a great sounding board for me and what we're doing here. So
you've been great mates for a long time, you two. You started your footy journey together. So let's go back, because I know people want to hear a little bit about your story as well. It's a bit of insider sort of stuff. Let's go back to under 8, even under 16s. You were
no, we were under 19.
Under 19,
but but I think Hoppy was 16 and I was 15. And so I learned a lot from Hoppy actually back in the day. What used to happen is because we were going to school, right? So we used to get picked up from school and get a taxi to go into the Junction Oval to go and train, which is fine. Mum and Dad's would take us a lot of the time, but on some occasions we just needed to get the taxi, so which was good. But then on the way home from training, what would happen is the seniors and reserves would train first.
Yep.
And then Swoop and Northey would have them out of the training track, flog them on some occasions, and they would train because they were all working.
Yeah.
So they would start training at say 5. They'd be finished about 7 or something, and then we'd get out and finally start training at about 7. We're at school all day, starving, hungry.
Oh my God.
And we go out and train. So then on the way home, Hoppy, we had these taxi vouchers, right? So on the way home, there was at Chadstone, there was a McDonald's. so Hoppy goes, I reckon we can do something here with this. So
I know where this is going.
so he's gone in. He said, taxi driver, pop into McDonald's, you know. So we pop into McDonald's and we've ordered 3 cheeseburgers, some chips and a thick shake or something. He goes, mate, just whack it on the taxi bill and we'll fix it up.
Oh, you fix it up and we'll fix it up later.
We'll fix it up on the taxi. So we did that a couple of times, and then it was a bit of a problem because then we stopped, didn't want to do that anymore. We didn't want, and then we said, well, we have to do it because otherwise the club's going to find out.
Yeah, they're going to say, hang on,
what's the bill discrepancy?
You're going the long way home sometimes.
So yeah, he was always up to some sort of shenanigans. Was our
that's
lovable
great.
Paul Hopgood.
I think I've heard some stories about others doing that, except
I don't think we're Whistling Dixie. I think every footy club at that stage, every under-19 player was on the same rule.
Well, you had Swooper when you first started, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Into Neil Balmer after that. You've had some coaches over time. You've been at the Melbourne Football Club. You were at the Melbourne Football Club for a very long time. What was it like as a 15-year-old walking into, who was the big dog back then? When it was Robbie running around still, or was it Gary or Jimmy?
I was 15, so it was all in the under-19, so we didn't really cross over too much with the senior team.
Yep.
Although I remember when I first came down to the club, they invited me to watch a game and into the MCC, which is, I was a young 15-year-old kid from Noble Park in Keesey who'd never set foot in the MCC. It was a pretty big deal. We sat down and we had dinner with Alan Johnson.
Yep.
And then Alan Johnson came in, grabbed me and took me into the rooms before the game and saw the warm-up and all that sort of
Amazing.
thing. And they had, Robbie wasn't there at that point in time, but yeah, Gary Lyon, Jim Steins, Todd Viney, all these guys were there, and Alan Johnson's just showing me around, which is just magnificent. So that was my first real introduction into the club, and then of course he wore number 9.
Yes.
And then his son, Chris Johnson, I ended up playing with. So all of a sudden I had this great memory with Alan and Chris, which is just beautiful.
Unbelievable.
So,
I love hearing those stories about when players first get to the Melbourne Football Club, especially someone like you that's been around a long time. You were absolutely influenced when you first got there, like blown away by how great this is. I was a young kid out in Keesey playing football and junior football through the Teal Cup, TAC Cup sort of stuff, and then to the Melbourne Football Club. For me, it was the same sort of thing. Well, I came over from Tasmania, so it was just like, MCG, here I am, and same deal. Gary Lyon. I remember my first real go at going to a change rooms. I was actually playing for Tassie at the time, and I came to do a fill-in role.
Yep.
The top-up role for the reserves back when Melbourne had reserves.
Heroes.
Exactly. So you could actually play on the MCG in the reserves back in the day as a warm-up to the seniors game. Bring it back, please. Bring it back. One of those games, Stephen Phoebe was coming back from injury.
Yeah.
So I'm a 16, 17-year-old kid from Tasmania, and he's absolutely given it to me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't handball to him. He was trying to get back in the seniors. Smashed me. I was like, no, you obviously don't know me yet. I don't handball anyway, so you'll learn that soon.
Just give me the. No, we had. I remember in the senior team, at least we had Andrew Ops was always a beauty, like such
Screamer.
a great man. Love the guy.
Soft guy, just really loving, cuddly.
He was, gentle soul, all that sort of stuff. Until, of course, he crossed the white line, and I got to know a totally different side of Andrew Ops, and he was so demanding. And if I wasn't in the right spot, doing the right thing, I knew about it real quick. But it was like, oh, okay, we're the big boys now. I had to really sharpen things up. So, but no, I've got great memories.
Didn't he make he made the Herald Sun best 22 of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s? And the reason he was in there because he played 100 and something odd games
50, I reckon,
against guys that had played a lot more and kicked a lot more goals. He was in the forward line, but the Herald Sun reporter wrote, "I'm putting Andrew Obst in this team because apparently by all reports he's a really great fella." Well, you don't know him on the field, Herald Sun reporter. He was an absolute shocker. But I went into the rooms as that top-up player, and I remember clearly Gary Lyon, like a lion, just prowling around. He was injured because his back was stuffed back then. Prowling around you blokes and just getting into you, sparking you up before the game on the MCG. And I'd never seen anything like that before because I was a junior footballer and I was just going, wow, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, he was, and he was, and I suppose for me, I got a little bit of that from Gary as well, and then Gary, I'm sure, from Swooper Northey, who was just the master at the us against them and really revving guys up and getting him into the, like pretty much into the red zone, as you're walking through the gates, the old gates that we used to walk down in the old Melbourne rooms.
I love that.
And all that sort of thing. It was a great little race to run through.
So good.
Great memories from that room. But yeah, it was guys like Gary were full of passion. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Swooper was interesting, and I only really got coached by him for 1 year. And I was in the reserves all year anyway. Yeah. But I do remember, like, he was so demanding as a coach.
Yeah.
But then I remember there was a session where we did this training drill, and we lost. The seniors lost, and it was the toughest training session that I reckon I've ever did. Yeah. Everyone was knackered by the end of it. And there was you could pick one person to be like the centre half forward type, and you'd get them. And while you're in that position, you were totally gassed. You could only be in there for like 5 minutes, and you were gassed. He went in there, stood there for like about 40 minutes, and did that session with the guys. And he's like, no. And everyone's like totally knackered after their 5 minutes. He just kept going. I was like, wow, this guy talks the talk and walks the walk. He got a lot of respect for him after that.
And then fast forward a few years, we're playing under Greg Hutchison, I think, and we're losing every week because Neil Balm had just been given the sack. Hutchie got the role.
Yeah.
We'd been beaten by 120 points, 80 points, 70 points, getting smashed. I think instead of doing one of those murder sessions, we went down to the Black Prince in Paran and we got absolutely smashed as a way to just get ourselves out of our flunk.
There's a few different techniques and strategies. I do remember, Hutchie was the coach, was he? But I do remember sometimes you're like, well, we've tried everything, we've tried lots of things. Maybe we need to take the pressure out and just relax a little bit, putting too much pressure on ourselves. I remember, actually, I don't know whether it was the same thing that you're talking about or not, but it was Darren O'Brien, I think it was. We had a bit of a streak, and he goes, you know what annoys me? Too many blokes with their socks down. And I always had my socks down, right? I never had them up. And he goes, it's unprofessional. He came from South Australia, whatever, I can't remember the team. We always had our socks up, and we're proud to wear our colours and whatever. So put your socks up and let's go out with our socks up. So everyone goes, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So we walk up with their socks up. Didn't work. No, it didn't work. I think the one that we had a couple of beers. I think, did we win the following week? I reckon we might.
I think we did.
Yeah.
And look, psychology in sports a very difficult thing to master, and
take the pressure out a little bit.
Sometimes it is a little bit about take the pressure off, and we all go through hard times, and we've seen some of our Melbourne guys go through some hard times and a bit of time away from the club. But as soon as things like that start happening, the media these days get wind of that, and it's like the biggest story of all time. Oh, he's letting the club down. They all hate him, and does it annoy you? Does it frustrate you? You can't really say too much about it. Social commentary, whatever, you just got to sit there and cop it when reporters and and everybody else is smashing into our players, but you really know what it's like behind closed doors. It's hard.
It's hard, and it's harder these days for the young kids with social media and all those things. It's really hard for them to escape. But I guess we've just got to remember that they are young boys, and they're still growing and learning and developing in life.
Yeah.
So. Obviously, we hold them all to a high standard. We want them to perform. We want to all those things. But they're young kids. Look at the Demon Army. They're ready to go.
The Demons are just running out on the field, mate. It's Jack Viney's 200th game this week,
Jackie
which is
boy.
he's
Isn't he a superstar?
Oh, mate, we played with his old man. And
wasn't he great? He was headbutting lockers. He was doing all sorts of
he
things.
was that guy, wasn't he?
He was
old Todd. And Jack was always going to be like Todd. Like you say, he was always running around the room, smashing in everyone. We knew that he was going to be this player. We knew it before he even knew.
I remember, so Todd had retired. He moved up to Echuca, right? So I went over and visited Todd at his new place in Echuca. And then Max, Todd's other son, and Jack, they were mucking around playing together. Anyway, they had this, there was like 2 steps down. Poor little Max, he was standing 2 steps down from this little landing in the house. There's Super Max, comes through, runs, flying tackle, smashes Max into next week. Boom, lands the tackle. I'm like, yeah, we're still seeing that technique at the MCG still.
And what did Todd do? Did he sit back and go, just next time, really wrap him up harder?
He said, Max, don't cry. Don't you cry, Max.
He said that a lot. I've heard that one as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game tonight, Dave. I don't want to talk too much about the game because we're going to come back at half-time, I think, you and I, and talk what we're seeing out on the field. And
cool.
I think we'll do okay. We've got people everywhere here that are wanting to...
Good. We're doing a podcast about footy.
Podcast. And we're live at the moment, and you're on. So
you're on air. Good on you. Enjoy.
That's how live we are, folks.
Super live.
A couple of questions from the floor.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Davo Anderson just wrote, "You can't believe you found somebody that's got the same name as me to fill in." Well, don't go away too long, Dave. You don't want him to be good because you might not be asked back. Question from the floor, and I think it's from Jenny. What was your favourite moment playing for the Melbourne Football Club? It's a great question.
Oh, gee, my favourite moment and my worst moment is all on the same day, on grand final day. Like, my favourite moment is running out onto the ground on grand final day in 2000.
Yeah.
And then my worst moment was coming off the ground. Off the ground. So, that's what you play for. That's what it's all about, getting to the big day and winning it. But to be able to experience that was a really proud moment, terrible day, but a great moment to sort of and to experience the build up to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were lucky. We got a really good tenure at the club, and a lot of people don't get that. So there's a lot to go back on, and it feels for me now. It feels like a whole lifetime ago. Does it feel like that for you? Like it feels like something else I did a long time ago.
It is a long time ago now. Although every now and then, Robbo, I still have dreams that I'm out there on the MCG. Do you know, I had a dream just before the start of the season that I was playing footy and Ooze was coaching me. Yeah. So clearly I was thinking about Ooze in the back of my mind with his new role. But every now and then it creeps back into my psyche. But no, it does. It's a long time ago. The thought of someone tackling me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not interested in that kind of stuff anymore.
No.
But it was great times.
I played a game not long ago in the International Cup just as a bit of a fancy thing to help out. And I felt like, okay, I'm going to go there. And I feel great. I'm going to do all right here. And I remember running at the ball, and the ball bounced and it went that way. And I was like, right, it's going that way. My mind was over there getting the ball, but my body was still here. And I've heard people say that your body doesn't respond. It actually happened. I was like, oh my God, I'm there. I'm old.
I did the same thing. Played a charity game and exactly the same thing. I could see what was going to happen, but I just couldn't do anything about it.
Now, we played a lot of footy together, Nita, in the forward line.
Still kicked 5 though, Robbo, that day. I just want to add that.
Just want to leave that right there. Of course you did. We played a lot of footy in the forward line. There's been a lot of talk about our forward line over the last couple of years since our premiership. Where are we getting our goals from? Last week was a good game. I thought the forward line played quite well. Fritter was up and Van Ruin. Midfield's great. Back line is unbelievable. But our forward line, can you talk a bit about that?
Well, I thought last week, particularly the first quarter, our mids, the pressure was unbelievable. And then the game sort of deteriorated a little bit. But I guess like everyone, it's the forward line, but it's the delivery inside, and it's great that we've got a couple of players that are really good kicks. You can sort of see that they're trying to lower their eyes a little bit more going forward.
Yep.
Slightly different, not massively different, but slightly different going inside 50.
Yep.
And then, Harry Petty might have to go back this week depending what happens with Lever, and I'm not sure if he's named, I know, but is he going to get up, Lever?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
But anyway, so he may have to be deployed back, but if Harry Petty's in and Van Ruin's in, Big Ben Brown, somehow I thought, geez,
played really well.
He's done well the first couple of rounds of the year. So our forward line is looking okay, I think. And the entries you can see that they're just having a bit of a slight difference in that area, and that'll make a big difference.
Synergies are a big thing for forwards, moving together well. I know we worked a lot on that in our pre-seasons, and you get that by virtue of playing together a lot. And we were lucky that we played a lot of football together. So I reckon early days I was jumping all over you a lot.
Yeah.
By the end I was jumping all over you, not as much.
Yep. Not sure.
But
look, I like the sentiment of what you're saying.
It didn't happen. That didn't happen, Robbo.
No, it is true. You start to understand. You start to understand what players and predict what players are going to do, what they might do in that moment, and then you can sort of alter your running patterns and things like that to be able to work better together as a team, and also know the capabilities that that everyone's got. So and that will happen with our guys. Harry Petty's been and even when he went back, I went, oh geez, that's right. God, that guy's a really good defender. But he's a really good forward as well. So it's interesting with him. He's in this predicament that I found myself in back, with when Swarter got injured and Gary Lyon got injured and Alan Jakovic there, he got injured and moved on. And then all of a sudden I found myself floating back and forward, and it feels like Harry's in exactly the same spot, 30 years on. So, but he's an important guy. Great to hear that he wants to stay. Like he feels, that was some good media sort of during the week. So, looking forward to him and Van Ruin probably playing together for the next period of time and getting that understanding.
What was the best thing for you about playing for the Melbourne Football Club? Playing in the AFL, but playing for the Melbourne. What was the best part for you?
I love going out and competing and getting onto the MCG and testing yourself every week. Love challenging myself against the great players of the game. But really, I love the relationships that I built along the way. It's been, and we've still got such strong relationships with you and all of the guys from our era. And it's just life. It's, the Melbourne Footy Club it's been a massive part of my life. It is a massive part of my life, and it continues to be such an important part of me and who I am. So, it's been a brilliant ride.
Absolutely, well said. And you've even got a terrace named after yourself at the MCG. Do you still pinch yourself about that?
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's quite bizarre to think about. As I said, I was a 15-year-old and never been to the MCC in my life. Never would have gone to the MCC.
And if they said to you back then, we're going to name a terrace after you one day.
That's right. As a 15-year-old kid, my first introduction to Melbourne Footy Club, and next minute there's a bar and a terrace. So, no, it's ridiculous, really.
Do you feel at all disappointed that we weren't able to be that team that brought home the Premiership Cup after a long period? I mean, for us it was about 30 years when we first started off, and it ends up going out to about 50 plus years.
Yeah.
Do you feel sometimes that pang inside? I just wish we could have done that.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Because I go to the grand final every year. And I don't know, the game finishes, I don't know that feeling in the winners' camp. I know the other guys, but I don't know that feeling. And so every year I go, geez, that must be amazing.
Yeah.
But look, and there was lots of things going on at the footy club at the time. We had opportunities, prelim finals, grand finals that we made. We had some pretty good teams. We were able to play in some really big games, which is fantastic. But yeah, there's a little hankering that goes, might have been nice to put the medallion around.
And you would have been the guy too. You would have been the captain holding that cup up. It would have been phenomenal.
Many
and I would have been the Norm Smith medalist. It would have been amazing. Playing on Jakovic playing on Jakovic as a centre half forward or a full forward, but then you're playing on Wayne Carey as a centre half back.
Yeah.
Forward back, you were brilliant at both ends. All Australian centre half back, we know that. Where did you prefer to play? What turned you on the most? Because I reckon, I get the feeling that beating an amazing player like Wayne Carey would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing as a defender early, and then we had, and our team, as I was saying, we had, Lyon, Swartz were really on fire, Jakovic down there. So and then with myself at centre half back, we used it had the nucleus of a really strong sort of key position line. And I loved it. I really enjoyed the Chris Grants and the Wayne Careys and the Barry Stonehams and Stewie Lowe's and all these players. I enjoyed that challenge, but then again, obviously had the switch to go forward. By the end, I couldn't go back anymore. I played too long in the forward line, and I just lost some of those defensive skills, and so. In the end, and I love going forward. It's a different kind of challenge, different kind of pressure. But and to be fair, I actually enjoyed the opportunity for a few years there to play both. And whatever was happening in the game, if the ball's going our way, go forward and try and kick a goal. And if things aren't going our way, go back and try and shore up the defence. I actually enjoyed the responsibility of doing that as well.
I would have loved it if I was just 3 centimetres taller, so that I could have just sent you back to the back line when I got to the club. So, righto, mate. Because I can't play down there because I didn't lose the ability to play defence. I never had it.
No, well, Neil did try you once it was a Wizard Cup or something like that. Half-back flank. I think you kicked 2 goals and your man kicked 4.
5. 4 on me, though. He kicked 5 for the game. Yeah, I was a very attacking half-back.
You were ahead of your time.
I remember at some point I was like inside forward 50, 30 metres out, and someone sort of might have yelled out to me, Robbo, what are you doing here? I was like, back to the back line. It just was foreign to me. But anyway, we had some great times on the forward line. Mate, I wanted to just quickly say, this game's about to start, and I want to get them on. We've got two supporters over here, Nikki and Maddie. Come on over real quick before the game starts. We'll get a quick tip from you as Jack Viney goes into the centre of the ground to flip the coin. Look at you two. We got the Demon Army here, Neita. You put the message out. You talk about forging relationships. Look at these guys. They've turned up. These two especially, but the rest of you can't see with the camera here. But the rest of the Demon Army here. G'day, guys. How are you?
Hello. Good.
How's married life? Firstly,
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. That's
pretty
it.
awesome.
Maddie, how's married life?
I'll second that so I don't get in trouble.
What about that?
You're engaged live on the show, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the prelim back in 21 against Geelong. So, yeah, Robbo, I got in contact with him and then a week of stress because it was a lot harder back then. Now he's got this cool setup. But, and then I got in trouble because I was being very secretive and she thought I was trying to cheat on her or something at the time. But it worked out in the end, so it was good.
Fantastic.
And I made sure that I made it known that when you get married, I'm playing at the wedding. And it happened.
Yes.
It happened.
Yes, we got married in October 2022.
Yes.
And yeah, Robbo came and he was MC and he played for us. So it was pretty awesome.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
We had a great
now
night.
I need to know that you met through going to the footy together, 2 days.
Well,
or no?
No.
we met online.
We had, but we were both married.
Okay.
So previously, but we'd never acted on anything then. We just met each other once.
Sure.
The after dark version.
But yeah.
No, we met online when we were both single.
Yeah.
And then realised that, we had like 50 mutual friends on Facebook
Oh,
and
wow.
all part of the Demon Army. So
That's magnificent.
Well, guys, the game has just started, so we've got to get off. We've got to go and watch the boys. We're going to come back at halftime, so we might jump back on with you guys as well. Tell us a little bit more about married life. What do you reckon? All right, Neita, quickly.
Go, Jason.
We'll
Come on.
Go, Dee.
wind it
Get us
up
home.
here. All the supporters watching, all the people out in Facebook land, if you'd like to jump back on at halftime, Neita and I will be here to give you a little bit of a rundown of what we've seen so far, but we need to go and watch it.
Port Adelaide kick a
We've
goal.
already kicked 1 goal on us, so that's not great, but it's a long game.
It's a long game.
We'll be back soon. See you guys.
Bye.